teacher, I should say, or I don't know how to put it across. A young, talented presenter is a multifaceted personality. I will have to refer to my points on her to introduce her completely. So just give me a minute, please. 1 minute. Oh, Vivek, you have to keep on admitting people, otherwise I can't introduce her. I know she's a double MA and I can't. Oof, I'm sorry, I have to admit as well. 1 minute. Hanji, Kaveri, our young presenter today, is a double graduate in product design, mass communication and journalism. She did a master's in design, expanded practice from London, specializing in yarns. She is also a brilliant upcycling artist. She's a professional dancer and choreographer in various Indian and international dance forms. In fact, she even has her own YouTube channel in case anybody is interested. So we will start with this yarn weaving session now. Please carry on, Kaveri.
Okay, thank you for the lovely introduction, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I would like everyone to make with me, okay? And so all we need is a Y-shaped or V-shaped branch, some yarn. Yarn could be anything. I'll just show it to you. So it could be from some wool or cotton threads or some जो मिठाई के ऊपर ribbons आते हैं, that you could use, some old belt, कोई नाड़ा हो कटा हुआ छोटा, some कतरन हो, anything, basically anything you can use that can be made into a yarn. And we need a pair of scissors, one tapestry needle या कोई भी needle हो स्वेटर सिलने वाली, या जिसमें भी बड़ा आई हो, जिसमें आपकी yarn चली जाए, and कुछ accessories if you want to use them. So firstly, basically weaving has two things in it, a warp and a weft. Warp is the base that we form. So something like this is your warp, and what you weave with, what forms the weave, is the weft. So this is basic weaving, just a warp and a weft. Now, I'll just quickly give a brief explanation of what weaving is, and then we'll move on to quickly making it. So you know, all our clothes and everything, they're woven fabrics and woven cloths, and the different weaves. So everything has a warp and a weft. Now, but what we are going to do is more into tapestry weaving. That is different from a basic fabric weaving. Because in a basic fabric, you have your warp and weft both visible. Whereas in a tapestry weaving, your weft is what forms the pattern. कैमरे में हाथ रख के बात कीजिए. ये कैमरा है. So traditionally, if you see, there are a lot of carpets or artifacts that were made. They were all tapestry weaving because they try to show a scenery or make a picture out of it. So that is more, they're able to do that with tapestry weaving because they have more control over the weft. As we can use small pieces, like I showed you, we can use small pieces. We don't have to use a long piece for tapestry weaving. So now let's start with the basic weave. First, I'll just tell you how to make the warp. So you have to make sure that whatever V that you're taking, it should not be like this, flimsy. So it should be strong enough. So this one is still strong enough. This is still strong for a short area. This is very flimsy. So you'll have to check if it's very flimsy or if it's strong enough, because you don't want to put all the effort and then later it breaks. So this area, I'm taking this area, which is quite sturdy. So this is a good season because a lot of pruning is done, and even like in rainy season, a lot of tree branches fall down. So I just got this branch from a park near my house. So you will find a lot of nice branches fallen down with, like, after pruning or after monsoon. And these pieces can be decorated outside or inside. You can make it as natural as you want using natural fibers, jute, cotton, or you can even make it a very upcycled one, like if you're using more like these ribbons or something like that. So you can decorate it indoor as well and outdoors as well. So I would recommend you to start with the warp with a finer thread. If you don't have a finer thread, you can use from whatever threads you have, the finest of all. You can use that. So I'm using a embroidery thread here. I would like everyone to make it with me so that I can watch also what you guys are doing, so I can help you out. So firstly, we just tie on one end a basic knot. A basic simple knot. Make sure it's tight and secure. And you can take about 1 meter approximately, or whatever length is comfortable for you to handle. And just snip it. Now we start wrapping the warp onto the branch. So there are many different methods of doing this. I'll be teaching you one basic one that's good for a starter. So now that I've tied this on this branch, I will go around the other one. From back to forward. and go around once again. From back to forward. Now that it is coming from the front, we will take it to the back. So we have to, if it's coming from the front, we take it to the back. If it's coming from the back, we take it to the front. So it forms a cross. And you can keep it as close as you like or as far as you like. So this distance can vary. Like you can see in this one, I've taken quite a lot of distance. And this is a relatively close weave. Again, taking it from back to front and wrapping it again on the other branch. From back to front and wrapping again. You can even do a single wrap. I'm doing double because it just makes it more stronger. Now I'll just finish it here. Again, tying a basic simple overhand knot. Make sure you don't make it loose. So we want these to be tight. Otherwise, weaving will get difficult. If you want to make it extra secure, you can even put a drop of Fevicol or fabric glue on this, on your knot. I hope it's clear till here. So this forms our warp. Now I'm taking another yarn to start weaving. We're going to do a plain weave first. So for plain weave, we just go over and under all these threads. So if you've woven really closely, you can even if you've wrapped really closely, you can even take 2 over 2 under, 2 over 2 under, or 3 over 3 under. I've wrapped this quite openly, so I'm just going to take 1 over, 1 under. So you can start from anywhere. And just leave a little tail so that you can use it to finish it later. So I just take this over the first warp thread and put it inside to take under the next one. So I take over the first one and under the next one. Make sure you're holding this tail, otherwise that will also come out. Now that I've taken this under the second one, I take it over the third one. And then under the fourth one, over, under, over, and under. Now, if you see here, my warp and weft both are visible. But generally in tapestry weaving, the warp is not visible because the pattern is formed with the weft. So one trick or one tip that I would give would be either to use a thicker yarn or to wrap it closely. Both these things will make the warp visible less. Or another thing that you can do is take the needle and just pull it. So pull it a little, hold it. Pull it a little, hold it. Pull it a little and hold it. So it will form something like that. And then you again go back. So now I had come over this. So I go under the next. And over, under, over. So you keep alternating this. And we keep going like this. This is a plain weave with a twist. But this looks really good because when your warp is not visible, these loops form a really nice pattern. Another benefit of tapestry weaving over any normal weaving is that you don't have to take your weft through and through right till the end. So if I just want to finish it till here, or if I just want to cover this part, or maybe just this part, I can do that very easily. So that gives us a scope to actually create many different patterns and use different colors and different textures. If you've taken a big branch like I have, it will really test the patience. If you like to accessorize it, you can either put beads or bells or tassels or pom pom, anything in this only directly. You can even attach it later. Or you can just put it in the weft itself. Now, if you want to just finish it here, you can just keep going in and out in this area only. You can put it in a pot outside, or you can do dry arrangements inside your house, or you can even make wall hangings out of it. But it really looks good with the green if you're putting it with the plant. Yeah, even on live trees in your garden, you can do. That's another thing that this technique is used for. So that's called yarn bombing. That's a yarn graffiti. So you must have seen a lot of graffitis, especially in Noida, we have a lot of graffitis. So those are done with paints, but yarn bombing is something that's a kind of graffiti that's done with yarn on trees and branches. Another good thing about this is that it will be unique. Whatever you make will always be unique because the branch will be unique, the kind of materials you use or the patterns you make will be unique. Now, when you're satisfied with it and you don't want to do more with this particular yarn, you can just flip your piece and on the back side, you can weave it inside. So with the same needle, just go inside and weave it. You can also tie the ends together. So from where we started and from where we are ending, you can just tie it there. If you want to make it neater, then you can just weave it in. I'll just leave it. Again, if you want, you can sew it so that it stays there, or you can put a little fabric glue or Fevicol, or you can even let it be because you won't be disturbing this a lot, so it won't unravel. So another interesting weave that I'll be showing you. This is again a basic how yarn bombing is done. You just wrap the yarn around the branch and that's it for yarn bombing. But this is an additional tapestry weave technique that you can include in it. So this is just wrapping the yarn. I've not crossed it here, so it's forming a nice pattern. Now this is a braided weave. It's called Samok weave. So I'll be showing you this now. You can keep adding your accessories if you like along with this. So here I've added this bead. I've added it into the weft only. Here I've left all my ends at the top. So I started from the top, woven it, and then let it end on the top only. So I didn't have to weave it at the back. I have not woven this at the back. So you can do something like that also. You can add beads, cordis, uh, pom poms. These I've added later. Here I've added a tassel. So you can do all that along with your weaving or later on. So for samak weave, we do, like in plain weave, we did 1 over 1 under or 2 over 2 under. In samak weave, we do 2 over 1 under or 4 over 2 under, or um, going into that. So we go over more and we go under less. So if I'm going over, is this visible?
Yeah, this is visible, Kaveri.
Visible? Okay. So if I'm going over 2 here,
Yeah.
I'll go under 1. Again, I'll go over 2. And last time I got this out from left. So each time I'll get it out from left only. Going under 1. So we go forward and then come back. Go forward and then come back. So going forward 2. And then coming back 1. Going forward 2. Coming back 1. You can make it as loose or as tight you like. That is completely on you. So close to the maybe I should take a lighter color. I'll show it with the lighter color ones. So I generally have these small pieces of threads because I make bigger projects and I have a lot of leftovers. So you can totally use any leftover or small pieces that you have in this. You don't need bigger pieces, or you don't need to buy um, like yarn in length. So earlier tapestry weaving was something that could not be replicated, or was not um, machine made, that was totally handmade. But then now we have machines for everything. So this was special when it started. So rugs and everything were made with this. Now we make a lot of home decor items, and a lot of things we find uses for it. So once you have something like this, you'll see you get all these slant lines, because each time we've taken it out from the left and then put it in, and then taken it out from the left. So if I want something like this, like a braid in the Samok weave, I'll again put it in, and this time I'll take it out from the right side. And then I'll put it in from the left and take it out from the right. And now I'm coming back down. Hmm. Sorry. So you can even start the same way that we did from down to up. You can even take another color and start again from down to up. But this time, instead of taking it out from the left, you take it out from the right, or you can come from up to down. Hmm. You can take a comb and keep pushing it in, or you can just keep pushing it in with your fingers. I did the wrong turn from there. Yeah. So you get something like this. Hmm? नहीं, नहीं, So you can experiment with this, like taking out, going over two, taking out from one, going over three, taking out from one, maybe going over six, and then taking out from two. It also depends on the kind of material that you're using. So that texture will give a different look to your weaves. Even if you're doing a plain weave, if you're doing it with embroidery thread, it'll be very different from how it'll look if you're doing it with the ribbon. So even if you're just using one weave and doing completing the whole thing, you can experiment with different textures. So one of the examples that I'll show you. This I did with a basic yarn, a basic woolen yarn. This I did with cotton threads. So it's much finer. The look is much finer. This one I did with cloth. This one again I did with cotton cords. This was again a thicker yarn. So the look completely changes with the kind of yarn you're using. Again, this was a basic weave, the plain weave that I showed you. The maroon I did with that. And even these chunky areas I've done like that, but I've pulled it. So like how I showed you in the beginning, I've pulled this, so it's given a cloudy effect. But because this yarn was super chunky, so the look has come out like a cloud effect. Similarly, here also I've done a plain weave, and this is plain weave as well. But here also I've pulled the yarn, so it's come out different than the how it's looking here. You can use colored yarns to wrap it around. That gives a different effect, a different look to the branch. You can add pom-poms, add beads. These beads are, again, I've added while I was weaving. So there are areas that I've wrapped the yarn just like that. There are smaller areas that I've woven here. Again, here I've taken a multicolored yarn, so the look is completely different from here, where I've taken a single color yarn. So you can experiment with different colors. So like I told you in the beginning also, you can use different fabrics as well. So this was another fabric that's lying around. So all you need to do is just cut it to the width that you want. And it's complete. You don't need to finish it or anything in this. It's completely fine if it's fraying. You can just cut a strip. And then use it as yarn. So that's what I've done here as well. This green is all fabric. It's all waste fabric that I had at home. Another weave that I'll introduce you to is this one. It's completely opposite of the samok weave. So it it's like how Samok weave will look at the look from the back. It's just like that. So basically we're taking one in front and two at the back this time for this weave. So that's a Samok weave reverse. Are you all making along with me? If you have any doubts, you can, I think, put it in the chat, or Deepa auntie can maybe communicate. So for the weave that I'm going to teach you now, again, this is a patch that I've done. This is a patch that I've done. So the look that this is giving is very different from this pink line that I've put here. So it's the same weave. This pink line and this patch is the same weave that I'm just going to show you. So for the first one, you're just going to take it out from where you have to begin. And then, so I'm taking two over, four under. But for the first one, it gets a little tricky. So you take two over. In the direction that you're going. So I'm going in this direction from down to up. And then for the first one, you're just going to take two under. And then you go back two. And now you start with four under and coming back two over. I'll show this again because the start is a little tricky. So for the start, we take it out from where we want to start normally, and we go over two. Now again, for the first one, we go under two. forward, and we come back over 2. And now we start as normal, a reverse samuk. So we go under 4 and come back over 2. You can even experiment with going over from the left and then from the right, from the left, from the right. That will give you a straighter line. Or if your thread is thinner, the thinner it gets, the more clear the lines will be. So if it's thicker thread, then this line will look more straight. But if it's a thinner thread, you'll get like 2 lines or maybe 2 diagonals going up. So you can experiment with different textures because each different kind of yarn will give you a different kind of a look for the same weave. So we go again, 4 under, forward, and 2 over back. Four under, forward, and 2 under, back. So if I just want to leave it there, I'll show you something that you can do. So if I just want to leave it there and I don't want to weave this, just trim it, and then you can add some quick tassels. So just take a piece of yarn. You can take as many as you like. I'm just showing you with one. So I get 2 of these in front and a loop at the back. So just take out the loop from the front. If you have a crochet hook or any hook, then that will help to take that out. Otherwise, you can just push it in like this. And then take these and take it out from the loop. And that will give you a quick tassel. So if you use a lot of these, you'll get a thicker one, or if you use less, you'll get less one. Now, if your yarn is not woven, and if your yarn is a twisted yarn, something like this, that will open easily. You can even open it. Actually, I'll cut it first so that it's and you can comb it, or you can even let it be. Um, you can even tie it together if you like, or you can tie it along with the warp. So you can keep experimenting with this. Once you have a strong um, warp on your branch, and your branch is strong enough that it won't move, then you can do a lot of things with your weft. Again, like I said in the beginning also, you can make it as natural as you like, or make it an upcycled art. So if you make it natural, it can um, it can go anywhere. You can keep it anywhere with your plants. So once you're done with all the weaves that you would like on your branch, you can weave it in at the back of your piece so that your front looks neat as well as your back. So like if you see, if this is the front, the back also doesn't look that untidy. This is something that I'd added on to hang it on the wall. But the back is also, everything is woven inside. So Like this is the front, and in the back I've woven this inside. So it looks neat. And like this method also, I told you, if you don't want to weave it in, you can just take smaller pieces and just go from up to down and up and leave it there, up to down, up and leave it there. And then you can just trim it, and then this looks nice. This looks so, I think it gives a nice tribal feel to it. That's why I've added this also in it. So you can do that if you don't feel like weaving it in the end. Or like I showed this method to you. So I did not weave where I ended. I just got it to the front, added a tassel and just included it in that. So that is another method of just finishing your piece. And then weaving it in is obviously there. And another method that I told you, if you're not very comfortable with going in and it's disturbing your piece, you can just tie the two ends together. Just lightly tie the two ends together and trim it closely. That works as well. You don't have to go completely down like through all the weaves that you've done. Just 2 or 3 are fine, and then you can snip it. And if you want to add beads or pom-poms or everything later, then you can sew it, or you can just tie it like this, and it won't be that visible, especially like in pom-pom or tassels, because they are chunky, it won't be visible. In beads, you can just you use a sewing thread and needle and just sew it. I think if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Ask now so much, Kaveri. It was such a wonderful, unique things you made, and we will definitely try our hands in this. And especially, they look so different, and we can incorporate in the plants when there are no flowers in the indoor plants, and the front and back is also so neatly done. And especially when you have a centerpiece, center plant, and you can, with the both sides visible. Talented girl. Thank you so much, Kaveri. Wonderful session.
Thank you. I hope this was helpful in.
Definitely, absolutely. It will look so intricate and beautiful. I'm sure everyone will agree with me. It's such a wonderful session we had today. Very unique.
Thank you.
And there is a question
Wonderful.
also, while weaving the branch, how do you secure it so that it does not move?
How do you, is it for the warp or the weft? Because for the weft, I showed you different methods of weaving it in. And for the warp, if you want to secure it so it doesn't move, you can put a, if it's a little flimsy, wait. So if your branch is a little flimsy, like if it's moving, then it will be difficult. Like you will have to put some glue to secure it, because otherwise it will keep getting loose. But if it's tight enough and it doesn't move like this, then you will not need any glue or anything. You can just tie a knot and it will stay there. But if it is flimsy, even a little bit, then you will need to add little glue. That's for the bar.
I hope, Suneet, it was your question. I hope you get the answer.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kaveri. It was a wonderful session. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek ji. Can you share Kaveri's certificate, please? And thank you so much, all the participants, all the members. I hope everyone will try this branch weaving. It's a very innovative thing, and it's an all season, all weather decorative item for your garden and for your indoors as well. You can use it outside, rain, sun, nothing will affect it. And it's eco-friendly. You can use it anywhere. And it'll add color to your decor. It'll add color to your garden when there are no flowers, as you rightly put in. So thank you so much.
Just give me a minute. I'll share the certificate.
Okay, Vivek.
To open it, let me.
And if anybody has any question, you can ask later as well.
Are you able to share? Are you able to see my desktop?
No.
Just share.
Thank you. Thank you, Floriculture Society, and thank you, Manju auntie, Deepa auntie, and everyone for this wonderful opportunity. And I really hope everyone makes it, and share it with me if anyone makes it, please. I would love to see your creations.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for
Bye.
joining.
Thank you, Vivek ji, for conducting it so well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.